heavy and hard. You're listening to Metal Morning Drive on Metal Fortress Radio with Lady Rose and the Beast.
Hey, this is Mark from Nothing More, and you're listening to Metal Fortress Radio. Crank it up.
You are listening to Metal Fortress Radio, and we have the pleasure today to be sitting with
Mark Vollelunga.
And he is from the band Nothing More. Now, give us a little history, how Nothing More came to be.
Sure. I've been with our singer, Johnny, for 15 years. He was actually originally our drummer, and he started singing late 2007, so he's been singing for about 8 years now. We went through several different singers, and our bass player joined. We had several other bass players, actually. He joined about 10 years ago, July, and we've been touring for 10 years. More regionally at first, and then we expanded and grew nationally and internationally within the past couple years. So that's I guess where we're at now.
Now, when we were reviewing you guys, I mean, we've been very familiar. When we first started Metal Fortress, we heard, a lot of the previous songs. But Jenny, and let me tell you, is one of my favorites for several reasons. I understand that the background of the song Jenny deals with suicide. And a lot of the guys and gals that come back from Afghanistan the rate right now is 22 a day. We lose 22 suicides a day. Give us a history on the song Jenny, because it's very dear to us, because we do have one deployed, and we did deal with something similar to this.
Of course. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The song does deal with suicide and mental illness and addiction, and really it's about a story. In this situation, it's about our singer Johnny's sister, who during the time of his mother's passing, she had a long, terrible battle with cancer. His younger sister, Jenna, who's actually named after his aunt Jenny, who had a similar sort of crazy bipolar episode that wound up in a mental institution where she's now, and Johnny's sister has actually been in and out of psych wards and hospitals for...
They have my heart, because that is nothing to play with, and it's not their fault. When you have something with mental illness, it's sometimes, like you said, it's hereditary.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's extremely sad. And I feel like Johnny uses a great analogy comparing mental illness to sort of physical illness. For example, you would totally open a door, if you saw a person in a wheelchair, oh man, I need to help you out. You have broken legs or whatever the situation. But as soon as you see somebody that has a messed up brain, that has a broken brain, you think they're an asshole or something, that they're just messed up, and you don't help them. And that's really sad about our culture. And
shame on them if they don't.
Yeah,
shame on them.
absolutely.
And I'm very familiar with that, because we've had it surrounding our family internally. But we've learned how to handle things like that. And you have to train yourself to think a different way in this society. And there's too much society out there that pushes people like that away.
You're absolutely right. So it's important. What we did kind of with the song Jenny is we partnered with several different sponsors like the Jed Foundation and To Write Love on Our Arms, and to raise money and awareness about mental illness, and so people can get the help that they actually need, and really end the stigma that is associated with it through conversation. So we should just talk about it, because it affects us all, and we all know somebody that deals with it.
Right. And this is similar to what happened in Connecticut. As you know, Metal Fortress is from Connecticut, and I hate to bring it up, Sandy Hook. Right. And someone mentally not with it went in and dealt with the situation with the kids. And it's a very touch and go subject to talk about, because a lot of people would be very angry for what he had done. But if he was attended to correctly, maybe this would have prevented something like that.
I can only agree. It's, I feel like there have been these situations keep repeating themselves, and they're going to continue to do that until we look at the problem as a nation and deal with it,
Right.
and to getting these people the help they need. Let's talk about it. Let's not shy away from it.
Right, exactly. All right. How do you feel after being such an independent band and signing up with the label? What is the difference between you guys doing it on your own for so long versus finding a label, and does that label help you? Because that's a subject at Mayhem last week. A lot of people were talking about Victory Records, how well they've been treating them, and is it the same for you guys with your label?
That's awesome to hear about Victory. Yes, it is the same. We are extremely happy with 11-7 and how much effort they've put into Nothing More, as well as their other bands. They care a lot, they work really hard, and really the difference between us doing it ourselves and being with a label is just having more muscle and more power. They're on the team too, so they believe in the band, and we work through our differences. Our management kicks a lot of ass, and we're extremely happy with
Well, I can tell right now because we're sitting in a bus.
Nice.
Not everyone I talked to last weekend, although nothing against them, they were in vans. So
totally been there, done that, and at this point, it's nice to cost a pretty penny for sure to rent this daily, but it's worth it in the fact that we can sleep comfortably, not worry about Dan not playing.
Takes the stress off the band, huh? Versus a van.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can stay productive. I have a little recording rig over there in the corner, so I can get ideas.
So you guys are writing as you're traveling? Awesome. Now, how long has the tour been going?
This one since July 8th, so just a few weeks, and there's, I believe, 2 weeks left. So then we'll be home for a month, and then we start the big headline Monster Outbreak tour, which we're really excited about.
Ooh, tell us more about that.
Yeah, it's paired with Marmozets, Turbo Wolf. Yeah, Marmozets is awesome. I'm super excited to see them. I've recently.
And you said Turbo Wolf?
Uh-huh.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Nice.
What's the name of the song that they do? The
catch, or the
it's a very catch voodoo, yeah.
But I don't think that's the name of the song.
No, it's got. I think it's Rabbit's.
Yeah, you're right.
Rabbit's Foot or something like that.
Yeah,
she knows it.
Nice. And the band Separations as well.
Nice. Now, are all you from Texas? All those bands, or from the label?
Neither, actually. Marmozets is from the UK. I don't know where Turbo Wolf is from, and I believe Separations is from Atlanta, but I could be wrong.
We'll have to come back and see you guys again and hang out.
Yes, please do. Yeah, I know we are going to do a Boston show, so we definitely look forward to that.
You're going to make me drive through those tunnels again. I have a phobia of that. I was telling your tour manager coming up here, I'm like, I'm underneath the city. Holy cow. Do you still have full creative control of your music since your label's taken over?
Yeah, absolutely. We have yet to really converse with them about any of that, because they signed on to a record that was already done, and they wanted it as is.
Oh, wow, that's
so
interesting to know.
They didn't suggest anything. They just loved it.
Like, how did they find you? Did they catch wind of you guys? Were your attendance at the shows that massive that people started to notice? What attracted them to you?
Well, basically, I'm sure it was some sort of word of mouth. We had been touring for a long time, and in 2013, we did a tour with an Adrenaline Mob, and we ended up doing a show at the Roxy in LA. A guy named Clay Bush saw the show, told his partner, Danny Wimmer. They loved it. Danny our Clay basically put his job on the line to throw us on one of Danny's festivals. And so we played Welcome to Rockville in 2013. Danny saw one song, he loved it, put us on another festival, Aftershock, and then he saw the whole set, and he wanted to work with us somehow. So right now he's managing the band, as well as our longtime good friend / mentor Will Hoffman. And basically we had done label showcases before then, and
it didn't work.
Well, everyone always liked it, but they didn't know what to do with it. As they said, rock's not doing anything.
It's gotta be that right person that knows what's big at that point.
Right. And so from there, it was weird because all of a sudden, 10, 15 labels wanted in after that Aftershock show. And so we were bombarded, and we took our time and really tried to get to know everybody, all the different labels, and hear them out, what they wanted to do, what they thought, where they thought they could take us and we could go. And after several months, we finally really wanted to go with 11/7 because they were a big indie. The deal that they were offering was very it definitely catered to us. They didn't have as much money as some of the bigger labels, but their track record really spoke for them. And Alan Kovac, he's got a great history of.
So what was that between? Yeah, was that between the band and you? Like, did the band itself really make a decision by watching what was going on with all the labels?
Yes and no. We got to, talk to these people over the phone and sit down at a dinner with them and just ask them questions. And really that was the getting to know process. And a lot of it is vibe. It's hard. It's, you look at all the facts, but at the end of the day, I think it's the same with anybody that you sit down and talk to. You either have a good vibe,
right,
friendship or something with them, so that you think you can work together possibly.
Right.
So we felt best with 11/7, and I know that we're all really happy that we made the choice that we did. So there's no regrets.
I can tell you one thing: for a radio station like ourselves to be able to contact your label, and let me tell you, I've had the phone calls where, okay, where is this? Where they have everything together, they know what they're doing, and they're very firm on, okay, let's make sure this is all set ahead of time, and they're very organized. I gotta say that. As much as I've worked with other labels, both, I would have to say, you and Victory Records, 11/7 and Victory, they do a very good job with, it's their reputation, on the line. So those are the two top labels on my path, where I talk to my bands back home and say, look into this one, look into that one, because, after doing the experience of interviewing you guys when you're on tour or when you're at a festival and stuff, it helps those guys back at home. Now, your songs seem to be very emotional, which we love. Beast and I, when Jenny came out, we were like in love with the song. A part of it, was deeper to me because you talk about the mother. She was there the whole time and everything, and it's so sentimental to me because my mom passed 3 years ago, and it's fresh. So I can understand where his sister comes from on an emotional level.
Yeah.
You can't get over that, and you will never get over that. That's a part of your soul, How does the writing process go with you guys and with the team effort? How emotional do you really get? I mean, is it right down to the core? Do you keep some things to yourself?
I would definitely say we go down to the core, like you were saying. Try to be as honest as possible, and really a big thing of why, or something we've done in this past record as opposed to the previous ones, was come more from personal experience, and we had all gone through a bunch of life situations.
That's why you're family, because you guys have been together for you guys live together, from what I understand.
And that doesn't make it easy. But
who does? I mean, really, it's marriage. As much as you can say it's even like a marriage where emotionally you guys need to get away from each other, but that much further apart brings you that much closer.
You're absolutely right. So we really dove deep into some of these situations and asked each other, those questions and in our feelings, and we wanted all of that heart pain to come out on paper and on tape.
And I've said it in previous interviews where how sickening it is that we can all enjoy on your pain, because it comes from pain. It really does. But that's some of the best music that comes through too.
Absolutely, and that's the most important thing. We're all in this together.
Right.
But our scars bind us. We've been telling stories for centuries, millenniums, and it's the same thing. This is just a different way to do it. So we're honored to move people, as music has been the force that has changed us and moved us. So if we can give back, that's my life's made.
That's awesome. Now, you guys have been now on a schedule. Are you used to it yet? First tour, like big tour together?
No. We've really, since March of 2014, we've kind of been go on tours and whatnot, and probably only had as much as maybe a combined 3 months or 2 months at home since March of 2014. So it's been very tough. This is a big tour. We're stoked to be on it, and I think the other one we did that was around this size was the Five Finger, Volbeat, and Hell Yeah tour last year around this time, or October.
Oh, that's right. You guys were at Mohegan, weren't you?
Yes, that we were.
That's when we first met you guys. We didn't. That's actually when we built the Metal Fortress. Was right when that tour started. And how was it? I mean, Five Finger's big, but being with Shinedown, what's it like?
It's cool that it's just us and them, and they are extremely nice, extremely pro, treat us very well. They have an open door policy, so that's really cool. There's no egos at all, so
I was going to ask about that, and I don't see them as that. At one time they could have been, but how do you guys feel about that? Like, you could be the next person that could be at that level.
Oh, then that would be amazing. We'd be honored and psyched to be there. But yeah, like you're saying, there's, with egos, nobody likes an egotistical jerk. There's no point in being one. We're all people. You're here. We're on a stage because people like our product, our art, and they've connected with it. So that's just, why would you be, a jerk to them?
Yeah.
There's no point. We all get tired and we all have bad days, of course, but you really have to remember that.
Yeah, yeah. And have you guys had bad days?
Yeah. Oh, of course, all the time. I don't think.
And how do you work it out? How do you guys work it out? If you have a bad day, do you take a band meeting or?
Everybody's got their specific escapes, but yeah, we all hold each other accountable and we all talk to each other. Sometimes it's harder than others, and that's why there are people in the outer circle that are still in the whole circle that aren't here with us every day. For example, like our manager Will, he we can come to him if we don't feel comfortable talking about something with another band member. If sometimes things are just too close and tensions are high, and it's because we've been on the road next to each other, living in a hallway for the past 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's understood. That's totally understood. And how do you feel your manager and doing? I mean, was he able to take on the responsibilities? And how long have you been with him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Will is great. We've been with him since 2010. Yeah, 2010. So I guess about 5 years. And he actually produced 3 songs on the Few Not Fleeting, our previous record, and kind of watched us for a year, and then wanted in because he saw a lot of himself in our band. He was in a band called Push Monkey in the 90s, and they had decent success, and then he kind of got it more into producing and managed a few bands, but we were just okay, like, we like this guy, he's really wise, and let's see where it goes. And within the first few months we knew that it was going to be a long-lasting relationship. He cares about us as people too, and he's not afraid to talk about anything.
That's awesome.
And give.
It's hard to find a manager like that.
You're right. And he was willing to take the sacrifices, the vow of poverty, almost, if you will. Like we
I do that
taking.
with my guys. I have Beast has a band, so we're not just disc jockeys. We actually have been in the music business, and he has a band too. Enemy Remains. I don't know if you've heard of them, but the drummer has a gold record. He's from Fate's Warning, the 90s progressive.
Okay.
You weren't even born yet. But and I manage them, and yeah, when you have devotion towards a band like that, you will go poverty, because you don't care about the money. You care about helping and being there. So big hats off to your manager for doing that.
I mean,
that's so important.
Yeah, you got to pay your bills for sure, but he's in for the long run, and it wouldn't be a long-term decision to basically nickel and dime your band when making anything.
And how was it? Did you bring him aboard with the label and say, look, we're not doing this unless we have him? Did you guys do that?
Actually, the label wasn't a part of any of the management discussion, because we already had management coming to the label. So the label never told us to get rid of our management or anything like that.
Oh, that's good to know. That's really good to know.
And that's also because
I was saying, you keep the headaches.
Right, Danny Wimmer has been involved in the industry for a long time, and recently worked at Atlantic Records, and so he knows a lot of the same people.
Okay.
So there's already previous relationships there.
So it's almost like a spider web.
Yeah.
You're all connected in some way. You already know each other. And is that way back home, like Shattered Sun and Sons of Texas? You guys all know each other?
Kind of, sort of. We actually don't really know the guys in Upon a Burning Body, and they're from San Antonio. But we did just meet the guys in Sons of Texas, and that was really cool.
That's right. You did the K-Rock-a-thon yesterday.
Correct. Yeah, 2 days ago, and we got to talk about little clubs down in McAllen, Texas, and Brownsville that we had played, that we both had played back in the day, that don't exist anymore.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty cool.
Is it
to bond over
different?
that.
You've been on the road to these different cities and stuff, and versus your hometown to where you are here in New England. How different is it?
I mean, it's no Tokyo. That's completely opposite. Yeah, there are absolutely different things. Like, I can't go into a restaurant or a bar and say, "Excuse me, ma'am." That means something different here. That a ma'am means you're 40, I guess, or something. And in Texas, that's just, you say ma'am to any female.
That is awesome. You guys need to bring Texas up here.
There you go. Yeah.
That is so awesome. I hope someday we can come to Texas, and
please,
we'll come down and visit and everything. We have a bucket list, Beast and I, and we'd love to do that.
Definitely.
Come down and
I
visit
think
with you
one
guys.
thing we've learned, not that you can't find hospitality or friendly people in big cities, but typically going out in small cities, you'll find people are nicer, and they're, especially Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all that. There really is Southern hospitality, and people just care. And yeah, they may be a little crazier when it comes to party time or whatever.
Yeah.
But they will give you the shirt off their back.
You guys are more like the four-wheelers and the big trucks down there, aren't you? Are all of you like that?
There's a lot of that. We're not really into any of that.
No?
Our bass player likes motocross and
That's
whatnot. But he's too busy with all his metal work and building the next showpiece right now.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
that's what he likes to do.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah. Mark from Nothing More, and you're listening to Metal Fortress Radio. Crank it up.
WMFR, playing today's new music, loading yesterday's favorites. Crank it up.